It's John Roche here. This is a very special episode of Yarn. Unlike our other episodes, I'm trying to edit this one together as quickly as I can because time is a factor. So please excuse the slack bang approach.
It started early this morning. The Russian assault on Ukraine began with missile attacks on key targets. As sirens wailed across the Ukrainian capital, the assault on this sovereign nation, so long expected, has finally come, and everything has changed.
I'm recording this on the 1st of March 2022. It's been 6 days since the Russian army started its invasion of Ukraine. Right now, Russian forces are reported to be a few miles outside the capital, Kyiv. Regular listeners to the podcast will know that we produced 2 episodes from Ukraine. If you listened to our episode in 2019, when we visited the Chernobyl exclusion zone, you should recognize this voice.
You can ask me any kind of questions and I will try to be correct and I will try to give only facts.
This is our tour guide from back then. I reached out to him a few days ago to see if he was alright. I got this message back yesterday.
Hi John, hello, thank you very much for your message, thank you very much. Right now I'm sorry can't give you the normal correct answer because we heard a few minutes ago 3 strong explosions somewhere near the city. I don't feel myself really comfortable at the moment. We will talk tomorrow, alright, and we'll continue tomorrow. Thank you very much for understanding because I am really nervous at the moment. Thank you very much. I am happy to hear from you.
I was delighted today when I saw a message appear on my phone from him. He agreed to exchange some voice notes with me and give me an update on what he's been up to since we last saw each other, what's been happening in the Chernobyl exclusion zone, and what it's like to be living in Kyiv 6 days after the invasion.
It would be better for me if this podcast will be incognito, like you will not publish my name.
He also still wanted to remain anonymous.
We don't know how everything gonna finish later and what will be in fact. So because of this, once again, like in the last time, it would be better for me if you will not publish the name of the person whom you talk about. Just you can tell like your friend from Kiev and it will be enough, I think so.
What follows are our voice notes to each other. I wasn't quite sure where to start.
I'm just kind of wondering how are you getting on? Where are you? How was last night? Maybe if we just start there, if you don't mind.
Well, thank you very much. Right now I am in Kiev. Last night was good. First time in the last 5 days I sleep peacefully that night. But at 22 o'clock, 10 p.m., it was strong explosion, 5 or 7 kilometers from Kiev, in the city Brovary, and we heard it. It's like 15 kilometers from my house.
The last time I was out there was October 2019, I think it was. I'd just be interested to know what happened since then. Did you keep doing tours in Chernobyl? I know that the tours got shut down with COVID, I imagine. Did they get started again? I know that the Russians have basically gone into Chernobyl since. Do you know anything more about that or what's going on in the zone?
So yes, step by step, after 2019 it was the best season because in the spring of 2018 we saw the drama series of Chernobyl explosion. Yes, HBO TV serial, 5 episodes, and of course amount of visitors rise up 2 times. In 2020 we expected to have 200,000 visitors, but unfortunately COVID started in the beginning of 2020 all around the planet, world pandemic.
The zone was closed to tourists. So in the meantime, our friend found other work as a real estate agent.
With a great pleasure, I'm waiting for returning of tourists to Ukraine, to the exclusion zone, because when I do tours in the zone, I feel myself like on a day off. For me, it's the best job in the world, and I'm absolutely happy with that job. To spend time outside on a fresh air, of course inside of a radioactive place, but all in all, everything has its price. I like this job very much. For me, it's like a vacation for money with the friends. It's good to make the job you like. Of course, you can call yourself a happy human being.
So our tour guide was super excited when the zone opened up again.
In 2021 season, amount of tourists start to return back. It was all lots of booking for spring from the beginning of spring. Today is first day of spring. It was a lot of booking, and people all around the world want to check how looks the nuclear power plant and area around. But of course, all of them should cancel their trip, their journey, because of Russian occupation.
This morning, the Chernobyl nuclear site in Ukraine is now under the control of Russian troops. The
Chernobyl zone was occupied by Russian forces in the first day, on the 24th of February 2022. On the first day of war, in the evening, they were occupied. So, as I heard, Ukrainian army did not make any kind of battles over there, just to save the territory, not to let radioactive elements rise up in the air. But of course, all of these war machines, tanks, and Hummers, and all of these big trucks, yes, all of them move right now through the exclusion zone, and as we heard, the level of radiation have rise up. Even more workers of nuclear power plant stay inside and keep doing their job, but they can't let Russians don't let them to go, so they just should do as things what they hear from Russian soldiers. I will send you right now a few videos. First will be like tanks. You will remind the place. You will remember the place. It's a sign with the name of city Pripyat. By the way, as you remember, we always make a short stop. Our speed of our bus is a little bit slowly. It's near the red forest to the right side.
Sure enough, I remember the area very well in the video. We stood there a couple of years ago. Now, Russian military vehicles sped down the road past the same spot.
The war machines move through the exclusion zone.
I asked our friend why he thought the Russians wanted to control the exclusion zone. Did they want to utilize the power plant in some way, turn it into a weapon?
It's they invaded territory of exclusion zone only because of geographical situation, not to control the nuclear power plant. They need to start over there. It will be they will be more close to Kyiv, and the nearest to Kyiv from the right side from Dnieper will be Chernobyl exclusion zone. If they decided to go to invade Ukraine not from territory of exclusion zone on the right bank of river, they should make a bigger circle to get to Kyiv. Russians are really strange guys that they are cheated by their dictator who ruled the country for 21 years. So no changes, and he's really crazy. That guy is really crazy. And of course, Belarus nowadays also enemy of Ukrainians because they let Russian soldiers to move through their territory. And for example, if we will talk about leader of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko, he ruled Belarus from 1994. Just imagine yourself, 27 years. And when I was in Belarus like 15 times. Even 20 years ago, in 2001 year, I heard from Belarusians that they're tired of Lukashenko. It was 20 years ago. Imagine yourself.
Did you have any inkling that this would have happened? That Putin would have actually invaded? Did you think this was a bluff, like a lot of people did, or did you see this coming?
Well, talking honestly, we have a war with Russians for last 8 years. They invaded Ukraine in 2014. They take territory of Crimea, where lived my parents. And for example, before 2013, I visited Crimea 6 times per year. Now, after 2014, I didn't been there. It's very hard to cross the borderline. No trains anymore. Soldiers will ask you too much questions. Of course, we have a battles for Donetsk and Lugansk for last 8 years, and 15,000 soldiers of Ukraine forces were killed during these 8 years of battles. Ukrainian army is 25th strongest in the world. according to the official information. Russian army is second or third strongest in the world. So of course, it's hard to struggle with these guys, but all in all, we do it. So, did we expect the Russian invasion? Well, some people expect, some people did not expect. I thought that it's close to unreal that Russia will invade Ukraine, that Russia will try to take Kyiv to put here the government. I thought that it's like, wow, are you crazy, guys? It's impossible. Because you should know that, for example, both of my grandfathers were soldiers, yes. One of them was a Soviet soldier, and most of his career he was a soldier of Soviet Union. And from the childhood, we heard that Ukraine, Belarus, and Russia is like a family, like three brothers. Younger Belarus, middle brother Ukraine, and older brother Russia, because bigger, yes. And we will always support each other because we were together during the First World War, we were together during the Second World War. We didn't expect that Russia will. I didn't expect, because I always thought that war costs too much for government and it's the best way to destroy the economy, life of people. So maybe battles will be somewhere for Donetsk and Lugansk region, but that they will invade Kiev, I did not expect that. But all in all, from the last summer, we start to hear such an information that the Russians are prepared for invasion. We thought that they just try to show their power and not more, like to shake muscles, yes. But well, it was really strange decision. Now they see the result. From my point of view, it's really, of course, hard to struggle with Russian army, and I think that till now they didn't show their best. But all in all, they're really surprised with the results they have here. You should know that Ukrainian spirit is very strong. All of us were born fighters. All of us were born soldiers. All of us were born independent. And we have no other option. We can't lose this war. We can only win. And it's just a question of time when we will celebrate our victory. You should also understand that even if official Russian army will destroy absolute Ukrainian army, uh, they would they should also kill all of Ukrainians, because now all of Ukrainians go on the streets. They're trying to stop the Russian forces. Now all of Ukrainians, most of male are volunteers, and someday they will have weapons. And when Russian soldiers or Russian government will move through the streets, even in peace times, they would be afraid, because from every window they can be killed. This is what actually Ukrainians consist of. You should know that in our land, on our territory, it's enough free place. And none of these Russian soldiers, as we used to call them, Russian pig, none of them will ever return back home. For them will be enough place in our soil. It will be a fertilizer for potato, for grass, for trees, and next spring soil will be better with the help of Russian bodies.
What's your personal plan? Are you going to stay in Kiev, stay in Ukraine? Do you have a plan on what you're going to do next?
I stay in Kiev at my house, at my flat. And just, well, at this moment, I'm keep watching what's going to be next. Maybe I will go and fight for my city. I didn't decide it yet, but I'm not a professional soldier and never was in army, so I don't know even how to shoot. What can I do with them? But all in all, I can make some cocktails, like burning cocktails, like, and something to support people, less of a volunteer. So maybe I will go and do it. All in all, we will never give up. We will never put our hands down. Um, we will fight for our country. We will fight for our cities, for our house, for our families, for our children, and for our wives. We will never give up. This is what Ukrainians consist of. And of course, we have a new law that now male from age 18 up to 60 are not allowed to leave the territory of country. That's why I can't go abroad, and it's a little bit for me senseless to go, for example, to Western Europe just to stay somewhere in the village. I will stay here protecting my flat in case of something. We will see. We don't know what's gonna be tomorrow. Yesterday we heard bumps. 2 days ago we hear them every night. So I can't make any plans for the future right now. I will show you the video I made on the next day or maybe 2 days after the war started. Well, dear friends, right now you see the results of Russian occupation, what actually happened in 1 kilometer from my house at this night. So part of building was damaged, and after the crash of missile, Russian forces, of course, building were damaged, and 5 people get injured. As I heard, none of them died, but destroyed, half destroyed building. All of windows are broken, and now it's pretty cold. It's 0 degrees Celsius in Kyiv.
Are there food still in the shops? Are things starting to run out?
So here I sent you a video from the supermarket nowadays.
Our friend filmed himself walking around his local supermarket. It's empty of people, and all the fresh food is gone. Bare shelves are everywhere.
It's like 15% from the amount of food we have before the war started. So every day it's less and less food, and now it's impossible to find milk, cheese, bread or something like that. Now supermarkets are empty. We will check what's gonna be tomorrow. I'm pretty well prepared, so I have food for the next like 10, 11, 15 maybe days, but not more.
Is the power still on? Is the internet still working? All those utilities, are they still all okay?
We have internet, we have Wi-Fi connection, of course. Everything is working except small amount of products in the supermarkets. And of course public transport is not working, and we're not allowed to leave home from 8 o'clock in the evening up to 8 o'clock in the morning. So 12 hours for citizens to move around, but you should be with passport, and you're not allowed to go too far away, and you can cross city Kyiv using only 2 bridges from 5 bridges, and it's a big crowds and car will be checked, so it's a military time.
People on our media have been talking a lot about your president, saying he's doing a great job, that he's gathering loads of arms and he's got loads of countries to do sanctions. I'm not sure how good that is yet to you, but what are your general thoughts on the EU and your president at the moment?
Well, right now at this moment, of course, president showed himself like a real leader who did not run away from here, using first opportunity for this, who is still not afraid, and of course now more people trust him as it was 5 days, for example, before. And in fact, nowadays the Russian invasion just make all Ukrainians together. We just feel ourselves much better as one nation, and we're trying, for example, actually, as I see, of course, in social media, to help in every possible way. But talking about European Union, I don't know what actually it will be. What's it will be new for me. I don't feel these changes. I see only like talking on TV, on news. Well, I don't know, do we really receive the help which they promised us, and I don't know how sanctions will help us in the nearest future. Maybe later Russia will be not so powerful, but I think like exists a proverb like when brothers are fighting to the death, someone from outside will live in their house. I hope you got the idea what I want to say. I think, of course, that if people that know how to struggle, that know how to kill Russian animals, if they will decide to help us, they are welcome. They are very, very welcome.
And what's that like? Do you have, like you were mentioning before, that obviously Belarus and Russia and Ukraine have shared history, shared families. Do you have friends in Russia right now, or even family members?
Yes, I have 3 people from Russia, and of course, all of these people have a good salary, they are well educated, they travel a lot, they have what to compare how Russians live and how live Europeans, how live people in China or in Africa or in United States, in Europe. These guys have a good life experience and all of them understand the real situation. My friends are always support me and all of them hate Putin. All of them waiting when he gonna die. But all of them say that we are not like Ukrainians. We can't go on the streets and kill the government. Which our power is not enough. Same say Belarusians. It's not enough. Ukraine always fight for its freedom. Every 10 years we have a revolution. Looking for freedom, yes. But no revolutions in Belarus and Russia. The dictators are too strong. And every year they get stronger and stronger. All of my friends from Russia really support us. All of them want the war to be finished. Because most of the Russian soldiers who are here, they don't understand what they're fighting for. We have very same culture, Russians and Ukrainians. Most of them are Christians, Orthodox. Uh, they speak Ukrainians speak also Russian language, not only Ukrainian. So now brothers killed brothers. Of course, we can't call nowadays Russians like our brothers, but be sure normal people who have connection to internet, who travel somehow, who little bit educated, all of them understand that they live nowadays in a big, deep S, the biggest in the world S, which is called Russia. So most of them don't want this government, but they can do nothing with it.
As our friend said, Ukrainians have to fight for their freedom every 10 years or so. So this isn't his first rodeo. He was on the square in 2014 for the Maidan protests.
I live in Kyiv. I was born in this city, so of course I helped the people who make the protests. I did not fight, but I was there as a volunteer, so I helped to cook some food and to make some barricades, but did not fight. But all in all, it was good experience. We just we have a strike for our freedom. We are looking for better life. We are looking for changes. All of us always hate Yanukovych, and it was a president that Russians put and Putin put on that place. So we don't want that asshole. The president did not know Ukrainian language. He was in a prison 2 times before he was elected. It was a thief. It was enemy of country. It was not a president. Even more in 2004 happened the another previous revolution, first revolution. I also remember it. My school was not far away from that place, and I was on that revolution in 2004. After this 2013, 14, now it's 2022. Once again the problem started. So every 9 years some shit happened.
How are you keeping up? Are you keeping up to date with Russian military movements? Are you watching the news constantly? Are people around you giving you updates?
And answering your question, where I take the information about the situation around Ukraine. So exist 3 resources of information. The official resources of government, we're talking mostly about Telegram and Viber chats for a big amount of people. On YouTube, of course, official sources of information. Also exist in Telegram a lot of unofficial sources of information, but mostly they put information from official resources. But of course, sometimes information over there can be for propaganda, of course. And of course, I search for unofficial resources, but Russian one. And I was there just to understand what's the situation from the Russian side. For example, on the second day, I heard that 13 soldiers were killed on the island Snake, yes, Ostrov Zmiyny. 13 people fight to the death, yes, official information of Ukrainian do say them. This. But unofficial resources of Russia say that it was 82 people, and all of them are alive, and they are in Russia now, in like a local prison or something like that. So I don't know where is truth, where is lie.
Coincidentally, just as we were discussing sources of information and the media, a friend of his sends a message.
This happened 2 minutes ago. Just check. It's happened 2 minutes ago. My friend make me a video message, and he heard this explosion.
Russian forces have attacked a TV tower in Ukraine's capital. The Kyiv Independent says TV channels have stopped broadcasting. This comes hours after Russia warned it would attack facilities in Kyiv.
That's where I left our friend, so he could ring around and make sure all his loved ones are okay.
Be in touch if you want, if anything else happens and you want to you want to update me or anything like that. And otherwise, I'll just say best of luck, and I hope you and all your loved ones and all the people you care about are okay, and everything. I hope everything is okay in the end, however long that is, and I hope you stay safe.
Thank you, dear John. Thank you for your help. Thank you for your support. You can text me anytime you want, anytime you need. You can ask me any kind of questions, and I will understand it.
But just before we finished up, I asked our friend in Kyiv if he wanted to say anything directly to my podcast listeners, most of which I told him are from the UK, Ireland and America.
Talking about things I want to say for British, for Irish, for Scottish people. Well, praise and supports with messages do not help us. The real help is weapons, soldiers and money. Everything else is just like a best wishes for you. But you can't do anything with these best wishes. So you've got the idea, I hope.
If you would like to help, you can make a donation to organisations on the ground and globally who are actively supporting people within Ukraine and refugees seeking safety elsewhere with medical and humanitarian aid. Or you can lobby your government and ask them to give more aid and take in more refugees. Or you can join a protest. In the show notes, I've included a link to a Global Citizen article that details how to do all these things. This has been a story for yarnpodcast.com, produced in Dublin, Ireland by me, John Roche.